Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and it's allergy season for me right now.
We might have some sniffles today.
Yep, I got the old Kleenexes right here.
Yeah.
Which it usually doesn't get me down, but my goodness, last night after practice, I went home and everything was fine. I was planning out my day, looking over the show stuff, and I went to bed, and man, first of all, I was wide awake.
Yeah.
Wide awake, went to bed. Too much stuff. Jim and I started talking about the set.
Yeah.
When he got home from volleyball.
We're getting the play ready.
We're getting the nostalgia play ready. So then I was like thinking of everything. I went and laid in bed. I'm like, okay, just stop.
Go to sleep.
Just stop. Look, yeah, just stop.
I wish our brains could just, you could just push a button and turn them off.
It would be nice. And I was like, just calm down. Calm down. And then I was like, okay. And then the next thing you know, everything starts running. My nose starts running. My eyes start running. Get that itchy inside where you're like, itching yourself and sneezing.
Yeah.
And then the police officers pulled up behind my house. I don't know what was going on, but like every city cop was behind my house about 11:30 last night.
Oh, well, that makes sleeping more fun.
Of course, I've been watching a lot of Bewitched. I have turned into Mrs. Kravitz.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a little bit of a Mrs. Kravitz, too, in my neighborhood. But I feel like our neighborhood, we really watch out for each other. So
I do.
And I work from home, and a lot of the other houses don't. So, if somebody's at their house or something's going on, I'm always like, what's happening?
What's going on? Well, because that's kind of like how it was. Like I said, I was just there. And, of course, I was upstairs, and we have those, that door that goes out to that deck or whatever. We have those blackout curtains. So I'm like, what, is that? So I'm like, Jim. Here I am, so I'm like, so we're like open the curtains, and we're like, so then I like lay there and I can like watch, because like a lot of times like I'll sling open those and just lay in my bed and watch the sky for a while. But I don't like mornings anyway.
Right.
I despise the time change.
Yes, I do too.
I don't like it. That exhausts me. So like this last weekend, for the time change, with Mac and Paige and Jack and JoJo and Connor and Jim and I went to Gurnee, Illinois, went to that Wolf Creek Lodge.
Yes.
Super cool place. This place it's pretty cool. So, was with the grandkids and go and this type of thing, Then we got up Sunday morning and came home, 4-hour drive. And then we pulled in to get gas, and for some reason, Jim was driving my car because I rode up with the kids. He met us up because he had a volleyball game. And the screen, my screen wasn't working on my brand new car.
Oh, that's not good.
No, so thank God Mac was there, because Mac finagled some things around, and of course Jim called OnStar. Of course, by the time that conversation was done, because he couldn't understand the Indians he was talking to.
Oh my gosh,
that was driving him crazy. But anyway, so it was an interesting day and an interesting trip coming home. And then I had Joanna all day from 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock. The next day, so then I didn't, and that was so fun, and it was a nice day. So JoJo wanted to be outside, so I lost. Busy weekend.
Yep.
A spring forward.
Yep.
Taking care of her outside. When like it was a dreary day where we could snuggle on the couch. Oh no, let's go outside, y'all. So we were outside.
You have been busy.
Yeah, and then I have a renter coming in the Airbnb, so we had to go over there and start doing some cleanup on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we had play practice. And,
yes.
And now I got this allergy, and I turned into Alice Kravitz last night.
Well, life is good, though.
Well,
are your only complaints, and we're doing good.
We are doing good. I got some new Crocs in to work in. I got the real thick sole Crocs.
I've had those before.
Oh, it's like walking on sunshine. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm wearing them today, actually.
Are you? Okay, I'll check them out in a minute.
Yeah, because they're awesome, and they're like real cushiony. Man, my ankles and everything don't hurt now walking on these.
Well, good.
Even last night at the theater, I wore them last night, and there's so much cushion on them that that theater floor will kill you.
Yeah, it will. And I always wear like good shoes that have like a custom insert and stuff. So like, I wear comfortable shoes, and my feet and legs still hurt after I've been on that.
There's just no
floor.
getting around it.
No,
there's no. It's just flat as a flitter.
Yep.
But but that Wolf Creek Lodge is pretty cool. I mean, it was like, and the water was warm.
Oh, good, because we talked about that on another episode about how a lot of indoor water parks, because this Wolf Creek Lodge that she went to has an indoor water park. You'd think that you could go there. I guess this one's okay, but some of them you think, oh gosh, indoor water park, I can go in the winter and it'll be great, and it's freezing cold. And my kids had bad experiences with that, and they really don't like indoor water parks that much. But that being said, we are going to a resort in the Wisconsin Dells this summer that has, I guess, 3 different indoor water parks, and it has like 2 or 3 outdoor water parks.
Really? You're going? Jim and I are going to the Dells this year.
You are? What week?
I think the first week of August. We have to go in. We got volleyball scheduled, so yeah. So we got we're going to the first week of the last. Yeah, he's got that period where he doesn't have anything to do with.
I think
girls.
we're going like the 3rd week of July or something.
Yeah. Oh, we're just gonna miss each other. We're taking our camper.
Oh, nice.
I haven't been through I've just driven through the Dells. I've never. We're staying at the KOA, and this KOA has big water park and stuff.
Yeah, water parks are like everywhere up there.
Oh, real? It's crazy. Yeah.
I know, like every resort had water park, and then there's like this one water park that my kids are like super psyched about. And it's not at the resort. It's on a man-made lake. And all of the stuff is inflatable. So like this whole lake is like full of these inflatable water slides, basically. You just like swim all over the lake and like go up and down all this water park stuff that's floating all over.
Really?
I can't remember. Natura. You can Google it. Natura at Wisconsin Dells. Looks fantastic.
Now, have you been to the Dells before?
Never. And I asked on Facebook, like, throw out some good ideas for vacation. My kids get car sick. So one, if we go further than like 5 or 5.5 hours, Gatlinburg's kind of our limit, which sometimes takes us, I think, like 7. That's kind of our limit because of car sickness. If it's any further than that, we fly. And we love Disney. We're not doing Disney this year. We wanted to do something a little bit more low key. And Gatlinburg and Branson were both on the table. We've already been to both. And we kind of wanted to do something different, but we also didn't want. It's like when you only want to drive so far, you have to kind of circle the map, and it's like what's in there anyway. I asked on, and the other thing is we have 2 teenagers, so yeah, a lot of people were like Mackinac Island. I'm like, I would love to go to Mackinac Island.
We should.
You and I would enjoy it.
Yeah,
Jason and I together would probably enjoy it. Yeah, but 2 teenage kids, not what they're looking for. Like, my kids are not the kind of kids that even want to lay on a beach. So just like going to the beach and like not doing anything, like out of the question. Like, my kids want action from morning to night. And to be honest, so do I. Like, I really like to stay busy while I'm gone. So this whole
don't do anything.
Water park thing, like this is totally us. So anyway.
Yeah, I've just been through the Dells, going to Connor's football games whenever we did drive. Boy, it's beautiful. We was up there in October, September and October. It's pretty. It is beautiful. So I'm excited about it. Yeah, I'm like, what are we going to do? Because what happened to us? Why weren't we going any? Oh, we took those big trips last year.
Yeah.
I think last year I was in 7 different countries.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that was quite expensive. So we're going to just do low key. And I'm like,
Wisconsin.
Let's go to the Dells.
That's right.
Everybody's talking about the Dells. And I just Googled it. I couldn't believe it. And Jim and I like to we're small town people. When we go places, I like to shop and I like to antique and I like wineries. And we just kind of like, but it's totally different whenever, because back whenever we had kids, we always took the boys to the Florida and stuff like that, and you just go. And but we're gonna pull the camper. We're gonna go camping. So
that'll be great.
I'm excited about that. I don't know. I think he mentioned it to Mark and Kim Smith. I don't know if they're gonna go or not. I don't know. Jim and I travel well together. We do well together. But it's so funny because people are like, "How do you two handle each other all the time?" It's like, "Oh, we do real well together."
Yeah, you do fine. And if you get mad at each other, you scream and yell, and then it's over.
And then it's over.
Yeah.
So
that's nice. That's nice.
That is true. When we have a knockdown drag out, it's a knockdown drag out. It lasts about 20 minutes, and it's like, well,
it's Fast and Furious, folks. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. It's over and done with pretty darn quick. But in the heat of the moment, it's beam.
But it's like, and then it'll be like, hey, what were we fighting about yesterday? I don't remember.
That's good. That's
and then
the way
I
it
usually
should
say,
be.
you must have said something stupid.
You can't always agree with each other. I mean, that's just impossible.
No. Well, the funniest thing, Jim and I agree on so many things, but we'll take 2 different paths getting there, and we'll argue about each path getting to that resolution.
Jason and I can be like that, too. In the end, I'm like, that's what I'm saying. He's like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, why don't we say this? I blame it. I think Wayne County has their own dialect. Sorry. But I really do. Like, all the people I know from Wayne County, like, he just comes about the same point, but he says it a totally different way. And I'm like, why didn't you just say it like this? And
why didn't you do that from the beginning?
I don't know. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, they're crazy. Well, what's that book? Which we should read it. Men are from Mars.
Mars and women are from Venus.
Because
I've never read it.
I've never read it either, but it's definitely the truth.
Yeah, we're just made different on purpose.
Oh, yeah. That's why God intended it.
Okay, so you have an ad. We always start our show off with an old retro ad. Let's see.
Oh
what
yeah,
you
look
got
at this
for
one.
us.
I thought this was funny. Okay, this is out of that. But yeah, look, this is look at that. It looks like new Westinghouse heavy duty 15 washing, engineered to prevent costly repair bills. I just want to talk about
I know what you're going to say.
old washing machines.
This thing, if it's probably still going.
It's
in someone's laundry room somewhere who's not concerned about their aesthetic or how their laundry room looks.
Absolutely.
They probably still have one of these puppies, and it's probably still going.
right, because what we buy today is definitely just
A temporary
temporary, yeah.
It's not made to last.
And I love it. It's like, oh, do you want to buy, spend $700 on a 5-year warranty? No, you're selling me something that's costing a few $1,000s, and you're only going to give me 5 years on it. That sucker right there is going to last forever.
To be honest, I wish I had it. To be honest, I wish I had one of these, and I wish I had some parts, and then just when the parts gave out, my husband could fix it. Because back then, this was the kind of thing that didn't have any electronics.
No,
if something
I don't
goes
like all
wrong,
that stuff.
somebody like my husband can just be like, this is what I'm going to fix it, and I put a part in it, and it's done, because he's good at things like that.
Yeah.
But the ones you buy now, they're so electronic. It's
just like that stupid car of mine.
You either buy a part that's just as expensive as the thing, or like your car. Now it's got an electronic thing going on.
And it's brand new.
You've had it like 2 months maybe.
2 months, yeah, and it's already being bloopity on me.
That ain't good.
Yeah, no, I don't like all this electronic stuff.
Yeah.
And it's still, when you back up, jar you to death, and Jim even found it and turned that off. And it could be clear as day.
And he for sure turned it off and saved it? Because I also
wait a minute. What do you mean save it?
Well, like a lot of times you have to turn it off, and then like my screen I think has a button that says like save or something at the bottom.
Well, we have to, because it gives me
save
whiplash.
my settings. So what we're talking about, for those that don't know, some of these newer cars have these sensors on it, and when you're getting close to another car, it automatically brakes for you. It doesn't just slow you down in a gentle little stop.
No,
it's like wham. Like you're at a dead stop, and no, I turned it off on the first day. So I got a new car too.
I got to do that.
And I was like going through all of the settings, and the first thing I did, because I almost got whiplash in her car, I'm like,
we thought we hit something,
and there was nothing there, and maybe it was a ghost. Maybe this thing picks up ghosts. Who knows what's happening with these electronics?
I don't know, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, so I turned mine off, and mine doesn't do it. But it's like really jarring. And scary, because you're like, it makes your heart drop, like, oh, what did I hit? Like you think, gosh, did somebody just run behind me? Did a small child just dart out behind my car while I was in reverse? And I think there's settings on my car where it does it forward too. Like if you get too close to the car in front of you. But I don't know that for sure, because I turned the settings off for that. But every time I start my car, it reminds me in a little picture that I have those settings off. And I'm like, yes, I know I have those off. I want
that backup.
I want to be in charge of my own driving.
Me
Thank
too.
You very much.
I don't want but it's. I've never seen anything like it. Oh, it makes it makes me so mad. Just because you're just like there's nothing behind you. Mm-hmm. Drives me nuts. But
anyway, we're off on a tirade there, but a little tirade. Okay, so
we got to take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back with I don't know what we're going to do first.
Oh, I have a great story on the history of IGA.
All right, well, then we're going to go with that. We'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Oh gosh. Okay. No warning on that one. Stacey and I were talking about funny T-shirts and bumper stickers. Anyway, all right. I have a great story for you on the history of the Flora IGA.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So, the IGA, for those that don't know, used to sit kind of across the street from Huck's, where Dollar General is now, in that lot.
You mean from Ace Hardware?
Yeah. What'd I say?
Huck's.
I
remember that store. I love that store.
Where Dollar General is.
That's the original. That's where the original IGA was at.
Yes, and it was built in 1959. Okay.
50s was a great decade.
Yes, so this was kind of the end of the era of all of the little corner neighborhood stores that we've talked about on other episodes. There were still smaller stores in town, don't get me wrong. There were still several. But this was the beginning of the era of the supermarket. This is the time frame where the term supermarket came into play. And this was Flora's first supermarket.
Yep.
So they kicked it off big time. So I'm going to tell you about the grand opening.
Ooh.
So this store it had 2 parking lots, and so it could hold a lot of people. When you walked up to the entrance, there were electronic doors.
I remember them.
Or the ones that went,
are you too young to remember these?
I remember the ones at the shopping center.
Okay. I remember this store. I love this store.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and I can hear the doors opening. I can smell it.
Okay. So picture this. The grand opening of the IGA Foodliner. That was the full name, IGA Foodliner. On Wednesday, June 17th of 1959. Owners were Robert and Lorraine Etchison, and they gave the public its first glance at the newly remodeled and expanded store on West North Avenue in Flora. It would later become Save-A-Lot, and then I think for a while they called it the store, just the store. I don't know, before they tore it down. The opening of the huge facility came at a time when small neighborhood grocery stores were the norm. But this was the beginning of the supermarket era. So the IGA Foodliner was said to be the most modern and up-to-date food store in Southern Illinois at the time. The whole Southern Illinois. We had the biggest, best supermarket at the time, 1959.
Wish it was still there.
Yeah, I know. Wait till you hear all about it, and then you're really going to wish it was there. It was a big 80 by 80 building, and it sat on the east end of a gigantic parking lot and featured the most modern arrangement and latest styles of shelving. Fancy. So
in the 50s? What would that be?
It was probably all modern looking, the mid-century mod. Everything kind of went modern there for a bit. And so they had new styles of shelving, refrigeration counters, and open display cases with hundreds of lights, giving the appearance of bright sunlight in the store. Now, that right there probably made a big difference. That lighting can change everything.
Lighting
and those little
everything.
neighborhood stores, although well-loved and each served its own purpose, they were probably a little darker and a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And kind of focused on their own, like some of them were more meat markets, some of them were like we carry name brand flour. We've talked about that on other shows.
That's an early show we
did. And we talked about the earlier grocery stores. There was a few when I talked to my dad that I think we missed that were apparently great, but we'll have to maybe touch on that again some other time. It says not only can you fill your cart with all of your grocery needs, you could pick up magazines, newspapers, and the latest hit on a 45 or 33 and a third RPM vinyl recording.
Nice.
So it also had a record area.
Sweet. Who knew that?
I didn't.
I don't remember that. Well, I was a child, so.
You were little.
I was born in 1967, so it's been around before I came.
Among the modern equipment installations was a 65-foot refrigerated meat department backed by an 18 by 10-foot refrigerated meat cutting room. There you could pick up Rath's smoked picnic hams for just 29 cents a pound.
That'd be nice.
Or ground beef for 49 cents a pound. That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
And
Those were the days.
It was fresh meat. from
Yeah.
local meat
local
producers.
people, yeah.
Okay. The store also boasted a 20-foot dairy case, which was considered unusually large since many dairy customers preferred to have their dairy products delivered to their door by the popular milkman. So here we go. This is the kind of the beginning of the end of the milkman, because supermarkets are coming in and they're having a lot more display room for bottled milk. And
we had the Flora Milk Company,
yeah. So home delivery was that was the beginning of the
We
end for
stopped
it.
at a Overwise, I think what the name of was. It's an ice cream shop.
Yes, I've eaten there.
Very good ice cream, and I wish we would have been coming on the way home, because like they
can buy
had milk you could buy in the glass.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
Farm Fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was also a 32-foot frozen food display case featuring IGA frozen orange juice, just 45 cents for 2 6-ounce cans, or 2 12-ounce packages of IGA frozen peaches for only 49 cents. Back then, everybody bought their orange juice in those little cans.
Oh yeah, and you get the concentrate.
Yeah. Nobody does that anymore, I don't think.
Wonder why?
I don't know.
Let's do it.
Because there's all these plastic bottles and less work, and people are like,
Yeah, something's gonna have to be done about all the plastic bottles.
yeah, okay.
We need to go back to this.
Let's go back to glass.
Let's go back to glass.
The store also offered a 40-foot produce display case, 20 feet of it refrigerated. There, shoppers could pick up a 10-pound bag of potatoes for 79 cents or 2 heads of iceberg lettuce for 29 cents. Bananas were priced at 2 pounds for 29 cents, and 3 dozen fancy California sun-kissed oranges could be purchased for 99 cents. 3 dozen of those for $1.
Wow.
3 dozen oranges. My kids, if I bought 3 dozen oranges, it would take us a year to eat that many. Okay. Like that's.
I love oranges.
Our
but I
family
like them
not
fresh. I just don't think produce is any good anymore.
No, but I have a feeling this produce was.
I bet this
Back
produce
then,
was great.
Things were different. Okay. Also unique was an automatic potato bagger. You ever seen one of those? Me either.
Nope.
Okay. So I guess the potatoes would maybe come single, and then they had these bags that they bagged them up.
Kind of like you would
bag 'em
just
there.
baking potatoes.
Yeah, or like any kind.
Yeah,
that you
just bag
peel
'em
for
all up.
mashed potatoes or what. The outside of the store featured a 100 by 120 foot blacktop parking lot marked for angle parking. That way you can pull those big old boats you're driving right in at an angle.
Oh boy, they were big.
There was also a second rocked parking lot for overflow parking. Altogether, nearly 100 cars could park at IGA at one time, and quite often they did.
Yeah.
100 cars. You don't go by IGA. You don't go by the priceless IGA and see 100 cars there, do you? No, you don't.
Something.
The store had been located at the site for 5 years before the expansion and grand opening. Prior to that, Etchison owned the IGA business on South Main. And I think that was where Andy's Market.
Andy's Market. Mm-hmm.
During the big opening celebration, this is my favorite part, you guys. During the big grand opening, A.R. Smith Ford Motor Company joined in to give away a 1951 four-door Plymouth. At their grand opening, they gave away a car.
What?
A 1951 Plymouth.
Well, that's fun.
Shoppers could also register to win a girls' or boys' bicycle or 10 weeks of free music lessons at the Music Box. Which would you have picked?
The Music Box.
I would have picked the bicycle.
Yeah, fun.
So during
question. What was the Music Box?
I don't know. I
Did you
guess
ask
it's a
your dad?
No, because he was only 9 at this opening. He was only 9 years old. I didn't ask him that question. He
Okay.
might know. I'll ask him. Dad,
Ask him.
think about that and tell me later. He's
Yeah.
probably watching. Okay.
Huh.
So during the celebration, organ music was provided live at the store by Ken Newton and Ed Burkett.
Now that's that's literally fantastic.
You're shopping
Are
for
you
these
kidding
groceries,
me?
and the organ is playing, and you don't have the overhead tunes going. You have live organ music.
Can we bring that back?
I'm all for it.
I'm all for it. Oh man,
Yeah, that would be
that's cool.
a store the size of the new IGA required a number of reliable employees. Joining Bob and Lorraine Etchison were John Etchison, Gary Etchison, Jan Etchison. I'm wondering,
I didn't realize
are
it was
these
the
their
Etchison.
kids? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was the Etchison family that brought
Okay,
the
well,
IGA
you know,
in.
there's two different Etchisons.
There's two sets.
There's ETCHISON, and then there's ETCHE
yeah.
ESON, and these.
Etchison.
This is the Chesson. This is ETCHESON. These Etchisons, and then Verley Bass, Evelyn Banhart, Kay Hogan, Janelle Farmer, Gertrude Wolf, Floyd Henson. Do you think it was the same Floyd Henson that was later the Priscilla's husband, the teacher?
The teacher?
I don't know.
Floyd Henson Junior High is named after. Is there a picture of him? No.
Well, yeah, there is. We'll show it. We'll show it in a minute.
Okay.
Hang tight.
I'll see it, and then I'll let you know if it's him or not.
Larry Phillips, Lowell Bratton, and Kenneth Easton. These were the grand opening specials in 1959.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, here we go. Sunny Morn Coffee. How much do you think? Oh, this will be a quiz.
Okay.
How much do you think Sunny Morn Coffee was on sale for at the grand opening? Per bag. It's a bag of coffee.
It's a bag of coffee, 38 cents.
Oh my gosh, it's 39.
I almost said 39.
If you were on Price is Right, you would get that.
I totally would.
You're closest to it without going
That's
over.
right.
Okay, Abby, you're in on this next one.
Okay.
A carton of 6 king-sized bottles of Coke. So it's a whole carton of 6 bottles. These would be glass bottles.
Oh, I remember my mom bought glass bottles. I told you that story about me breaking them all at Andy's Market.
Yeah.
Glass bottles, Coca-Cola.
You get 6 of them. How
get
much do you
6
think they
of
were, Abby?
them.
Like 70 cents.
Okay, Abby's guess is 70 cents.
I'm going to go with 71.
Okay, Ty, let's get you in on this.
Now, wait a minute. I was doing my 1 cent.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Ty?
I'm gonna say $1.
You're all wrong. The price was 29 cents.
Oh,
For
ba,
6
wow.
6 bottles of Coke plus deposit.
Get out of town.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Keep
29
going.
cents.
Keep going. This is
That was the last one that they
There was
gave
only
me.
2?
Yes. This article was written
Rude.
by Bill Oliver in 1999.
Bill. Come on, man.
All right. So the Etchisons later, they sold the store later, which I'm going to get into that in the next segment after the commercial break. But they moved to Mesa, Arizona, and Bob passed away. And then Lorraine, she was Lucille Anderson's sister. Sam and Lucille Anderson.
Yeah.
That Lucille ran Merle Norman.
Yeah.
This was her sister. Okay,
Okay.
Lorraine. And she returned to Flora, but then she moved to Grain Valley, Missouri. I think that she must have kids there. And then I believe she's passed away as well. And then the small neighborhood groceries are gone. Supermarket the size of the 1959 IGA would be considered small by today's standards. But 40 years ago, it was a store that made Flora proud. He says 40 years ago because he wrote this in 1999.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot longer ago than that. But it was a big store. It was a big deal. It was the biggest one in Southern Illinois.
I remember it.
And it was quite the show. I mean, giving away cars, playing the organ.
What?
Yeah. And
Bicycles, music lessons.
so
Well, we got to take a commercial
Okay.
break, and we'll be right back. Talk a little bit more about the IGA.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank. We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online bank, you just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County, Farmers Mutual Insurance.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code.
At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield banking companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper, and
I'm
you are
Stacey
Stacey Earlywine.
And I'm so mad about I didn't get the Coke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
29 cents. That's
for
cheap. Six of those glass
carton of
bottles.
6 left?
Man, I bet they tasted good, too.
Oh, yeah. That was probably
Man.
when we used real sugar.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to... okay, I had a question there that I had to look up on this story, but I have one picture from the 1959 IGA Foodliner. Ty, let's take a look at that. This is the staff of the new IGA
How
Foodliner.
cute. Look at those glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Love the ladies' glasses.
And I love that they all had to wear uniforms. They were
That's
all
fun.
very professional.
And look, the owner's wife is wearing the same uniform.
Yeah, it was mandatory, man. Okay, so you got Bob and Lorraine Etchison there. That's the owners. Then you have John and Gary Etchison. And Verley Bass is beside them. Then with the women, you have Jan Etchison, Evelyn Banhart, Kay Hogan, Janelle Farmer, Gertrude Wolf. And then you have there Floyd Henson, which is really hard to see in the photo. I'm sorry.
I bet it's, yeah.
Maybe it's the Floyd Henson we know. Maybe it was his dad.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I don't know if the years would
he
be
would have
right.
been young.
Yeah.
He was around my dad's age. They would.
Maybe it is him.
He would have
Maybe-
been fresh out of school, out of high school.
Maybe he worked there for the summer or something.
Uh-huh.
Larry Phillips, Lowell Bratton, and Kenneth Easton. And I think that is a super cool picture because these outfits were required for years. In fact, up until the early 80s, the white shirt and those bow ties are red, and the red bow tie was required.
Look at this. Just says bacon.
Bacon, yeah, this is one of their really fancy coolers there. This is let's see, that would have been the meat cooler. Let's see how long they said that was. Let me go back to that. The dairy case was 20 feet. Okay, the 65-foot refrigerated meat department backed by an 18 by 10-foot refrigerated cutting. And it looks like there's a mural on the wall behind them.
Yeah, it does.
Of like old Flora, you think. I think.
That's
I
cool.
don't know.
Huh.
But that's that
That's
big
a fun
fancy
picture.
meat case that was a new
Yeah.
thing, and it was lit. It had lights, and the store was well lit. And another interesting thing that I'm looking for in this picture, but I don't see it, is that behind the meat counter was a great big huge fish tank set into the wall. Did you know this? Do you remember this?
I remember the fish tank.
Okay. And behind the fish tank, on the other side of the fish tank, was the break room.
Okay.
Okay. So in the great big huge fish tank that's set in the wall, you can take the picture down, Ty, because I don't think it's in there. But I did an interview with my dad, David DeVore, who worked there. Okay. So this is where I'm getting my insider information. Okay. So the fish tank had a great big Oscar fish in it.
What's an Oscar fish?
An Oscar fish is like huge. They get really big, and they are like carnivores. So you don't feed them fish food. You feed them other fish.
Oh my.
And they get huge. Like some of them get so huge you have to take them out of the tank they're in and put them somewhere else.
Okay, my question
And-
is he the only fish in the fish tank then?
Well, no. Just a minute. I'm going to explain this.
He's going to eat everybody.
So the Oscars Jason had a friend that used to have an Oscar in a tank, and that thing got so huge, and they had to have this huge, I don't even know how many gallon tank to keep him. But apparently this tank that was in the wall at the IGA was one of those huge ones, so it could accommodate him. And there were some other fish in there, but they were big enough other fish that he couldn't eat them. Okay? But Oscars are mean, and they just... Dad said that like there was a second fish tank that I don't think anybody else really knew about because it was in the break room and it was full of minnows. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, because they just fed the Oscar the minnows.
And so like when you went on break, like if you were
Oh my
bored
gosh.
or whatever, or you feel like or if you feel like the fish needed to eat, you would like take some minnows out of the little tank in the break room and throw them into the big tank. And Dad said that Oscar would just wham, hit it like immediately and eat it. We're super fast.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, that's horrible, Dad. And I don't know whether, I mean, I guess I'm glad he told me that story because it is interesting, but at the same time, it made me really sad for the little minnows. And I don't know why it made me sad. That's obviously like, I believe God made a food chain for a reason.
It's a circle of life.
It's a circle of life. But it makes me sad.
But it does make you sad.
I have emotions about the circle of life, even though I know it is necessary. I have emotions.
It is. It is necessary.
So anyway, fun fact about the little
Oscar. Wonder what his name was.
Oscar.
His name was
I
Oscar.
asked that. I'm like, well, Dad, what was his name? And he's like, Oscar. Like, of course, you guys are so creative.
That's right. That's right. Well, Mac, we had a fish tank, and Mac, I got a black sucker fish, and Mac named it Blackie. And then we had goldfish. He named them
Goldie.
Goldie. Mac.
He's your creative child, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit to 1969. So this is 10 years after the IGA opened. My dad is not 9 years old like he was when it opened. He is 19 years old.
Yeah.
And he gets a job at the Flora IGA. Same location, same building. It's still there 10 years later. Okay. And he made, this will be a fun game. Let's guess how much money he made working at IGA in 1969 per hour.
Per hour, 25 cents.
Okay, your guess? 80 cents.
80 cents?
Okay, Ty, what's your guess?
We'll do 60 cents.
60 cents. You're all three wrong. He made $1.45 an hour.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, so this is going to be,
Okay,
let me
it's
go into
69.
let me go into the side note, okay, about these grocery stores. Grocery store jobs like this were union. Did you know that? And there are still grocery store unions in places like St. Louis.
You
those
gave
nice
us false
grocery
information. No wonder we were all wrong.
So, because, okay, I know some people don't really like unions, and that's fine, whatever. But you have to agree that when there's a union involved, the worker gets a better deal. And because of that, these grocery stores hired adults or people out of high school. There were not 16-year-old kids running things. They were all grown adults. I mean, I know my dad was only 19, but he was the youngest one, and he worked there for 15 years and like could support his family by working at a grocery store because it was a union job, and it was, yes, it was only $1.45 an hour, but at the time frame, that was pretty decent. Okay, so these unions allowed the grocery stores to be ran by adults that needed jobs to support their families, and they might have hired some younger kids to bag groceries or something, but for the most part, most of the employees, not just at this grocery store, but like all over, were adult people that needed a serious job. It was considered like a good job.
A good job.
And if you'll notice, like if you go to over by St. Louis, and I could Google this to be sure, and I meant to before we went on air and I didn't, but like Ty, you can Google it, but like Schnucks, Deerberg's, those big grocery stores over there, which are fabulous, by the way. If you've never bought groceries while you're over there shopping, totally stop and do it because they have so much more stuff than what we have in Flora. It's crazy. But they have older people that work there, like 30s, 40s, like a lot of their employees are grown adults, and they make good money working there because they're still union. Grocery stores in Flora, well, of course, we have Walmart. We know they're anti-union, but then, you know, even like our IGA, like I'm pretty sure that those IGA workers are not union. They're the butchers. There's still some butchers that are. It's possible the butchers at our IGA maybe are union. I don't know. I didn't go in there and interview them, but I'm just saying it makes a big difference, and it made a big difference then, and it makes a big difference now. So the name of that union was I wrote it down. It was called the Amalgamated Meat Cutters and Butchers Workmen. Okay, so my dad was in the
So he was a butcher, huh?
No.
He wasn't a butcher?
I'm going to talk about what he did, but he wasn't a butcher. But anybody that worked there that was the name of the union. The Amalgamated Meat Cutters and Butchers Workmen. He worked under that union for like 7 years. He worked at the store for like a total of 15. But then the union changed names like halfway through. And then they changed their name to the Grocers Employees or something like that. He couldn't remember the whole thing. But it was like basically the same union, same address, same everything. They just changed their name. Probably because the butcher one made it sound like you had to be a butcher.
Right.
But the other one was like grocers, like anybody that worked at the grocery store. Okay, so he made $1.45 an hour. But when he got out of high school, he went to work at a gas station. I'm assuming it was the same one my grandpa worked at. But he made $1.25 an hour there. But then he went to work for Ohio, and he made $1.75 there. But I'm like, why did you leave Ohio to go to a lesser paying job at IGA? And he said that they laid people off in the summer or something like that. Anyway, he got laid off on a Friday and went to work at IGA on a Monday.
Wow.
So back then there was jobs. If you needed them, he got a good job and went to work on a Monday in December of 1969 is when he went to work there. At the time, Marion Bingham was the manager. Kenny Easton was the assistant, and the owner, it had changed hands, and the Etchisons no longer owned it in 1969 or thereabouts. It was Don Jones was the owner, and Don owned the IGA in Olney and in Flora and in Salem. Okay. And he was a really nice, great guy. Two of the people that were in that photo were still there 10 years later, and that was the Hogan. What did I say her name was? Kay Hogan, and then Kenny Easton. They were still there, and Kenny was the assistant manager. So some of the other employees were Sharon Gray. Now, do you know Sharon Gray?
I know Sharon Gray.
Okay, so she was there, and Kay Hogan, and Dad said that they were the bakery. And they made fresh bread and fresh donuts. And he said the donuts were incredible. Some of you may remember these donuts. Apparently, they are still ranking high on my dad's list. He loves donuts.
I love donuts, too.
But he said he was surprised to find out they actually came in frozen. The dough did. The dough came in frozen, and then the ladies put it in a proofer, and then it would raise. The proofer makes the dough raise. And then they were baked fresh daily. Or not baked, fried.
Right,
they fried them.
Fried them.
And they were amazing, he said. So then Jim McCarty worked there. Jim Woomer. Do you remember Jim McCarty, Cheryl McCarty's husband?
I do not.
Okay. He was a super nice guy. He worked there. Jim Woomer, he was another friend of my dad's. He worked there. Mike Nunnally, who was actually one of my dad's cousins, I believe. Mike Nunnally, Joe Russell, and Bill Gish were the butchers.
Bill Gish was a butcher his entire life.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep, he sure was.
Did he work at IGA the whole time?
This whole time, and even when the new building at Southern Guard, he
probably had a really good job because
he was a butcher.
It was a union job, and they paid him well. Mm-hmm. Gene Reed was over produce. Jerry Nicholson and Jim Woomer worked nights. So what's interesting about this IGA is it was open 24 hours. Did you know that?
I don't know if I don't remember.
24 hours this store was open. That's pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
Dad said that it actually had an upstairs, a little upstairs area over it where the office was. Do we need to take a commercial break?
Yep, we're going to take a commercial break. I was going to give you 5 seconds.
Okay. Well, there was an upstairs, and one night he said that they were working nights, and they both fell asleep up there in that office. And the next thing they know, they heard some guy downstairs going, "Hello. Is anybody up there?"
Oh, my gosh.
And they were like, "Oh, my gosh, what happened?" Because they weren't the kind to actually sleep on the job, but for whatever reason, they fell asleep that night, and they had to go check that guy out at like 3 a.m. He was there to buy groceries.
That's funny.
So anyway, we'll take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great, too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Give me all your lumber. Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Illlinois. We're talking about the IGA, and there's things I didn't know about it.
Yeah, there's things I didn't know about it either. And,
That's pretty fun.
My dad, why haven't I ever asked him this stuff before? I don't know.
Because I don't know. It's just weird.
But
and you need to dive in and talk to your parents about stuff, because mine are both, I talked to my mom a lot, but my dad took things to the grave that I never even knew about.
Yeah.
And now I need to know these things.
I guess I need to schedule a weekly interview with my dad to write everything down.
I think
Apparently
so.
there's a lot I don't know. Okay, so my dad was on, and again, my dad's David DeVore, for those that don't know. I think I only said his name once, but he worked produce 2 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Then another 2 days a week, he unloaded and was a stock person. And then 1 day a week, he ran the checkout and carry out. And he did a swing shift. So it was like some days he was nights and some days he worked days.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting to me that they were open that long. 24 hours a day.
I can't believe they were open 24 hours either. That's crazy.
Eventually, he worked himself up to a better position, and his title was head stock clerk.
Head stock clerk.
Uh-huh.
How fun.
Yep. So every week they got 2 trucks in that had groceries on them, just regular groceries, probably canned goods and stuff. That was 2 trucks, and they got 2 trucks a week of fresh produce. Very fresh produce, not this stuff that's been,
formaldehyde to death.
Formaldehyde and ripened under certain lights and stuff.
They actually threw things away because they actually rotted before we started killing everybody with cancer.
1 truck of frozen treats a week, and then lots of trucks throughout the week that were like smaller trucks that were bringing in lots of fresh meat. So that's at least 5 trucks of fresh food a week, plus the meat trucks, which he didn't number because he couldn't even guess what. It was just a lot, constant bringing in fresh meat. Okay, that's a lot of trucking. That's a lot of trucking, and a lot of people were buying groceries there. So later on, the Don Jones, who was the owner, sold it, and Bill Humphrey took over. Bill and Dot. Oh, I love Dot.
Dot Humphrey. Yeah.
Oh man, she was just the best. I loved her.
They were great people.
Yes. Yep. So that was his boss later on. So I said, what year did it move from that location to the shopping center? And he couldn't remember. And I know there's people out there shouting at the TV what year the shopping center opened. And I reached out to a couple other people to ask them, and I haven't heard back yet. And it was time to air, and I don't know the answer. So I could come back to that. But anyway, maybe on another episode I'll fill in that little missing link. But they were the first store in the shopping center.
Yeah, I think it was probably, I'm going to guess it was 1982.
No, it was way before that.
Way before that?
No, because he left.
P and Hirsch, Ben Franklin was out there.
He left. Oh, so we moved to Harrisburg in 84, and he worked many years over in that location. I'm guessing it was more like 75.
You think it was that? So it didn't stay it didn't stay at that original location
No, it didn't. So they built it in 59.
1, 2, 3, 4, 59. Yeah.
Okay, so they had that big grand opening that I talked about in the earlier segment in 59. And then by late 70s, mid to late 70s probably, the new shopping center, the Southern Garden Shopping Center, where Country Closet is now, where
it was big.
Doc's Gym, all that there over the years there's been Ben Franklin and Western Auto,
Western Auto.
Lots of things. That was
we actually had like the Skipper's Galley that was like a Long John Silver's.
Yeah, it was called the
CVS,
shopping center because
center.
it was
There were
actually a
stores.
shopping center, not just a retail
Yeah,
shop.
I bet that opened
and
in
offices.
probably 70. I bet it was the 8. I bet it was 80, 79 or 80. But I wonder why that one didn't stay long.
Well, I asked him that, and I have an answer.
What is it?
So they were the very first store to rent anything in that building, to speak up and say, yes, we're moving. And the owner, I think at the time that they moved, I think the owner was still this Don Jones. It was like, absolutely, like we went in on that, even though our building probably wasn't even quite 20 years old.
No.
And was like the talk of the whole Southern Illinois. And I said, Dad, why? Why did they do that if they had this great other store that was just right around the corner? And he said,
Traffic, probably?
nope. He said to keep another grocery store from going in first. Because it was prime grocery store, supermarket location. Supermarkets were all the thing. And they knew, like, hey, if we don't take that spot, somebody else is going to come
Somebody's
in
gonna
and do it.
Makes sense. That's
and
a
we don't want
business move.
and we don't want the competition. It was business. They did it. It was a huge success. It was probably the right thing to do because that IGA was incredibly successful for years and years. And it was a great building. It was probably a little bit bigger. And it had more parking, Dad said. But I don't know if it
you'd
really
have
did
that
or
foot
not. You
traffic
had-
there, too. Yeah, you'd have that
and
foot
you had
traffic.
that foot traffic because all the other stores were right there. It's a little strip mall.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff there.
Okay. So he said that's why they did it. He said, but it kind of bit him in the butt because and it was just a sign of the times. They did get that spot, but shortly after that, Big John's went in on the other side of town.
Yeah.
Which it still worked out that the two were so far apart because not that Flora is huge, but it's nice to not have to drive all the way across town
that's
if
true.
if you live on one side of town or the other and you need to go get groceries. I don't know. So
Yeah,
turn
because
the
I'm thinking
page.
if I was born in 67, 78, 79, because I remember the original IGA very well going in there. So why? I mean, so what happened? Ended up happening to the building right there because it just got tore down how many years ago?
not that many years ago. I think
it stood for a long time.
I think it set for a while, and then Save a Lot went in there at some point. But I don't. It took
Save
a
a
while.
Lot went there.
Yeah,
in the original
I think-
IGA.
I think so. And then later, according to Bill Oliver's story, it became something called the store.
I don't remember that.
Okay, so what? I have a lot of memories of the IGA that's in the shopping center because that's where my dad worked. We lived just about 3 or 4 blocks away, and we would go see Dad at work. Okay, and I was little, and I would sit in the shopping cart. My number one memory of that store is how freezing cold it was all the time.
All the grocery stores, I think, are freezing anyway.
Grocery
They kill
stores
me.
are cold, but that store, and even later when it became Save a Lot at that location in
Always
later years,
freezing in there.
freezing. I mean, the coldest store in town by far. And any of you that remember that, if
I
you don't
do.
remember it being cold, you need to get your thyroid tested or something because
it was freezing.
It
You
was
just
like so
chilled
cold.
through the whole
and
thing.
my dad is like not a cold natured person, and he said he remembers the one. I said, what? Tell me what your biggest memory is about the building there. He said it was freezing from day one. And I said, was the other IGA not freezing cold like that? Because you just think about, well, it's a grocery store. It needs to be kind of cold. You got fresh produce and stuff. You need to keep
Sure.
it cold in there. He's like, no, the other one, he's like, yeah, I mean, it was a little cooler than outside or whatever, but it was never like that. He said that air conditioning system or whatever in that new building, he said it was just freezing. We all froze.
Well, and you're talking if it's 79, so your food's changing too.
Yeah.
But I think grocery stores are freezing now. I can't hardly go to the grocery store in
Oh,
the summertime. I'll wear a coat in there.
Yeah,
in the
you'll see
summertime.
me
It's
in a hoodie.
freezing.
You'll see me in a hoodie, and it'll be August, and you see me walking through the Walmart parking lot in a hoodie. You just mind your own business because I know I'm going to spend 20 seconds in the parking lot, and I'm going to spend an hour inside, and there's a big difference.
Freezing.
Okay. So moving on. So I said, Dad, what did you wear when you worked? Did you have to wear an apron? And he said I had to wear a white shirt with a collar with a red bow tie. He was still wearing those bow ties. And then he had to wear a white apron over it. And the white apron had a pocket up high. And when he said this, I remember these aprons. They were that real thick, canvasy kind of material. And it had a pocket up high. You know what the pocket up high was for?
Pins?
Wrong. Box cutters. That's where you kept your box
cutter.
Uh-huh.
That
To
makes
open
sense.
all your
Your stocking shelves.
Yeah, that's where you keep your box cutter. And then there was a larger pocket below that you could put like other things in, like gloves or whatever else you were using, but the box cutter pocket. And I'm like, I kind of remember that. So whenever Bill Humphrey took over, and again, I don't know the year of that. I was going to ask Sharon that, and I haven't talked to her. Bill Humphrey stopped the bow ties. He was like, okay, enough with the bow ties. It's not 1959. We're going to let the bow ties go.
But they're so cute.
And the women, I think, had certain smocks and stuff that they wore. And Dad didn't talk much about what the women wore, but he remembered what he wore. But Bill stopped the bow ties, but you still had to wear a white shirt. White shirt, white apron. That part stayed. And then Charlie Saylor, a lot of you know Charlie Saylor. He became a manager. He worked with Dad there for years, and then later on he became a manager.
Yeah.
And Dad thought maybe in the 80s, because I asked him, like,
Ty, did you ever Google that? That's when that garden Southern Shopping Center was built. It's going to drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Really? Who would know?
Well, there's a few people that would know, but
We just haven't, they haven't got back to us.
They haven't gotten back to me, and the other ones that know are sitting at home shouting at their TV, telling us right now we just can't hear them. Maybe if we listen harder, they'll be like, "It was 1976."
Yeah, I'm curious to know.
Yeah,
because I went to school with Julie Humphrey, and she, you know, I remember. That's why I remember when my dad built their brick house out there at Fox Creek. And I remember when that IGA store. I remember when Southern Gardens went up. Go, you buy my school clothes there at P and Hirsch, and that Ben Franklin store was fantastic.
I remember the Ben Franklin. I wish it was still there. I would enjoy a Ben Franklin so much more as an adult than I did when I was a kid.
Heck yeah.
When I was a kid, I was like bored to tears.
Well, yeah.
But now, holy cow, the fabric, yes, please.
Yeah.
I'll take
Ben
it.
Franklin was rocking.
Yeah. So, anyway.
That's a fun story, but we need to find out some more. We need to find out some.
There's some missing holes there we can fill in later, but yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't somebody, You're from Flora, just did something. Somebody put a picture of the old IGA on that You're from Flora.
Oh, they did? I'll look real quick.
Yeah, You're from Flora page. Somebody just put that out there.
Oh, really? I missed it.
Maybe ask people on You're from Flora when Southern Gardens was built.
Okay. I don't know if I can get an answer by the end of this episode, but
we can always come back on the next episode.
That's right. That's right. Let's see if I can.
Yeah. Just put that out there, because somebody did put a picture of it, like because it had that weird, that 1950s look, Flora IGA, sign. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're talking about signs, so I'm putting away Mr. Jack Handy. And
you are? Okay.
Bringing out Bill Engvall. Here's your sign.
I love that.
Here's what we're doing now.
He cracks me up.
They're funny. And I love this. Abby, can you zoom in on this real quick before we go? Because I love this. I got this book, the Bill Engvall. We're going to be in this one for a long time, you guys. So here's the Bill Engvall. Okay? Which way am I going? This is what's so funny. Here's your sign. This literally is a little plastic thing that says I'm stupid. It's up on the thing. But yeah, Bill Engvall, he is so funny. Thank you. But so we're going to start finishing with some of these silly, silly things that he used to say. Here's your sign. Because you had who were they? What were they called? Him and Bill Engvall and You Might Be a Redneck.
Jeff Foxworthy.
Jeff Foxworthy. What was that little comedy group called?
I don't remember.
I can't remember either. But it's so funny because he had Here's Your Sign. The other one, You Might Be a Redneck. And then you had the guy that was like the trucker all the time. So here's one of your things. Here's your sign.
Okay.
We were having a small earthquake the other day, and my wife asked, "Is this an earthquake?" I said, "Nope. I just put a quarter in the vibrating house machine. Here's your sign."
That's funny.
Yeah, it's so funny. What were they called? Ty, what were they called? That group of traveling comedians.
There was 3 of them. The other one, he always had a glass of brandy or something in his hand.
Yeah, there were 4 of them. Because you had the guy that played in the Disney show.
Oh, Tim Allen?
No. That played the Cars. Played the red truck. Or the broken down truck in the Cars movie.
Oh, yeah, Larry the Cable Guy. Thank you, Ty.
Engvall,
Jeff Foxworthy, and then the fourth
the cable
one.
guy.
The fourth
and
one
then you
was
had
the
guy that
drinker.
was always drunk and smoking cigarettes. Because he was supposed to come to Effingham.
Blue collar comedy. What was that other guy's name, Ty?
He was funny, but he almost didn't get to come because Illinois no smoking.
Oh.
He was supposed to come to Effingham Performing Arts Center, and he almost didn't get to come because he's like, smoking's part of my gig. Drinking and smoking. He was funny. Ron White.
I actually think he was my favorite one.
Oh, he was my favorite.
I thought he was funny.
He was funny. That's it. We got to go because we're going to run out of time.
Well, I didn't find the date, even though I was searching. So we'll come back to that.
We'll come
but
back
anyway,
to it.
thank you so much for joining us. As always, it's been fun, and we will catch you next time.
God bless you and have a great day.